Here's your wrestling news for April 14th, 2022. And your headlines for today include Samoa Joe wins first championship since leaving WWE, 7-foot-tall giant makes surprise debut. Brock Lesnar pulled from a premium WWE pay-per-view. Brock Lesnar sent Hotel Bar into chaos after putting Wee Man through a table. WWE internal list leaked. What is exposed to the fans? Current WWE wrestler invites Jon Moxley back to WWE. AEW video game update, expected release date, story mode, and more. WWE star joins AEW just days after leaving WWE. Never really got the time. Released superstar reveals why WWE dropped storyline with Happy Corbin. Why Jim Ross agreed to not appear on Dark Side of the Ring. Tony Khan says AEW doesn't need writers. NXT's Raul Mendoza gets a new WWE name. New stable formed on AEW Dynamite. The Young Bucks break silence on their relationship with Cody Rhodes, and more. We're kicking off today with AEW as last night's Dynamite was a stacked show that saw the crowning of a new Ring of Honor World Television Champion. After capturing the title from Rhett Titus at Supercard of Honor, Minoru Suzuki's reign was short-lived as he lost the gold last night to Samoa Joe. Joe and Suzuki battered each other with stiff elbow strikes and chops that lacerated their chests, and in the end, it was a muscle buster that sealed the deal for the former WWE superstar. Joe didn't have long to celebrate, however, as his former proteges Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt caused a distraction that allowed Satnam Singh to attack Joe from behind after the match. This marks Joe's first reign as ROH World TV Champion, and he becomes the 7th Ring of Honor Triple Crown Champion. But we'll have to see how long he remains champion following this post-match assault. Yesterday we reported on Brock Lesnar, who is being advertised for Money in the Bank 2022 in July. It had previously been reported that Lesnar was part of the plans for both Money in the Bank and WrestleMania Backlash, but those plans have since changed. In an update to their events page, WWE confirmed that Lesnar is out of WrestleMania Backlash, as the promotion for the show has no reference to the Beast Incarnate. While the Dunkin' Donuts Center website still has the Backlash graphic up with Lesnar on it, this is the previous graphic from WWE and will likely be updated soon. It's unclear what WWE would have planned for Lesnar at WrestleMania Backlash, as a source reported that his feud with Roman Reigns officially ended at WrestleMania 38, but fans will have to wait until Money in the Bank in July to see the Beast next. 2022 has certainly been an interesting year for Brock Lesnar, who made an impact at this year's Royal Rumble, but he also made a literal impact before the show. Ahead of the Rumble, Lesnar was in a restaurant with some of the stars of Jackass and slammed Wee Man through a table in a video that immediately went viral. Speaking on the bump, Jackass star Johnny Knoxville recalled people losing their minds when the slam happened, saying, "I became the biggest Brock Lesnar fan as soon as he slammed Wee Man through that table. I gotta admit, I couldn't stand afterwards. I just fell to my knees and I was hugging strangers. I went to hug Brock. It was an amazing moment at the Four Seasons restaurant. People lost their minds. Every time Wee Man gets slammed or slams someone, people lose their minds. We couldn't have been any happier, and none of us made any movement to clear any glasses or plates off of the table. We just let him get slammed right into the glassware and everything else just like that." The Hotel Bar were furious over Lesnar's actions, and we can't exactly blame them, but this all gave Knoxville some extra publicity for Jackass Forever and WWE some publicity of their own. Knoxville added in the interview that he's already missing working with WWE, so don't count out a return for the Jackass star and his crew, much to the chagrin of any bars or restaurants with tables in the vicinity of upcoming WWE events. Now, earlier this week, a report came out with an internal WWE roster list, which said that Cody Rhodes was the number 2 babyface on Raw. Despite the massive reaction that Rhodes has received so far, he apparently is falling behind Bobby Lashley, who only turned face recently, with AJ Styles taking 3rd place for Raw's Good Guys. The report has now come into question, as when Ringside News asked about it, they were told that it was only somewhat accurate. This report was based on a listing that Bruce Pritchard, Ed Koskey, and John Laurinaitis put together, but a source within WWE said that every few months, Vince McMahon will rapidly move names around. The source said that while roster listings such as the one we've seen do happen in WWE, they're subjective and nothing is official until McMahon himself signs off on it. Ringside News were also told that rosters are updated daily by the writer's assistants, and while the leaked list is a good reference, it is not an accurate look inside the company. While Cody is on WWE's roster list and very high up, there's no way to know for sure what his position is or where he or anyone else will be in 6 months' time. Sasha Banks is another star who won big at WrestleMania as she captured the Women's Tag Team Championship with Naomi, but has her sights set on some of the stars of AEW. Appearing on this week's NBC Sports Boston's The 10 Count podcast to promote Friday's SmackDown, Banks discussed Cody Rhodes' return to WWE from AEW and said that she hopes he's not the last big name to jump back to the company she's at. "It's good to see the Rhodes back in WWE, you know? Next, let's bring back Goldust," said Banks. "Let's bring them all back. Dean Ambrose, you want to come? Let's go. The more the merrier. Let's do it. I would love to see Ruby Riott back in the WWE Universe. Yes, absolutely. That's one of them." Obviously, this isn't Banks' decision to make, as only Vince McMahon can attempt to bring these stars back. It's also up to the wrestlers themselves to decide whether they'd consider going back to WWE, but after Cody Rhodes' shocking departure from AEW, who knows who could move next? Jon Moxley will be part of the upcoming AEW console video game, which has fans excited, and the new game could be coming out much sooner than anyone had previously thought. According to a report from Fightful Select, the new game will be out way sooner than expected, and that a September release date is in the works. They add that there is plenty of work to be done to reach this date, but right now, the plan is for the game to release in just 5 months. Details about the new game are still scarce, but we know that there will be a story mode and that there was a deadline for certain music to be involved in the game. There's no word yet on when the cutoff is for talent who will be included in the game, but it seems that fans who have been waiting for an AEW game since the company was founded in 2019 won't have to be waiting much longer. Last weekend, it was reported that Pat Buck had left his role as producer for WWE almost immediately after producing the main event match of WrestleMania Sunday. After co-producing the Roman Reigns vs. Brock Lesnar title unification match with Michael P.S. Hayes, Buck quit the company on the Monday after, but he hasn't wasted time in finding a new job. That's according to PW Insider, who have learned that Buck was backstage working at last night's AEW Dynamite from Uno Lakefront Arena in New Orleans. It's reported that Buck is now working with the company as a producer, and one source says he was in attendance for last week's taping in Boston, just 2 days after he quit WWE. While Buck's main job with WWE was a producer, he also did some recent work in the WWE Talent Relations division and was the liaison between the company and indie talents that were booked as extras. Now, Buck will use that expertise in AEW, as it goes to show that not all of the WWE names Tony Khan has won over come from seeing them on TV. Since being called up in 2016, Happy Corbin has had a lot of storylines, ranging from being a constable, a king, and someone scrounging for money. At one point in late 2020, the then King Corbin was accompanied by Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler, who were known as the Knights of the Lone Wolf, but this angle didn't last long. Blake and Cutler became Knights after being split from the controversial Jackson Riker, and we now have an idea of what went on behind the scenes. Speaking to Sportskeeda Wrestling, Blake explained that he and Cutler had pitched to work with Corbin for months, and WWE eventually agreed. He added, "WWE and their creative that decided to put us with Corbin. They decided to give us the look, they wanted a certain look, and they wanted a certain thing with us. Sadly enough, we never really got the time to come and tell why we were with him or why we were helping him." In less than 3 months after debuting for Corbin, Cutler was released from WWE, with Blake following on April 15, 2021. Both men were released from WWE before their storyline with Corbin could ever really gain momentum, and we can only imagine how things would have been different if they had been given just a bit more time to make this angle work. Back to the present, as Roman Reigns appeared on this week's Raw, but he also competed after the show. In his first match as undisputed WWE Universal Champion, Reigns and the Usos came up short against Drew McIntyre, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods, perhaps because the Tribal Chief was distracted with the fans. In a video shared on social media, Reigns is seen ripping up a fan sign that was in support of Cody Rhodes. With Rhodes saying he plans on becoming undisputed WWE Universal Champion one day, it seems like a feud between the two is inevitable, and the head of the table is already looking to kill off Rhodes' momentum now he's back in WWE. Now, Vice's Dark Side of the Ring has given fans an unprecedented look at the less savory parts of professional wrestling, with the death of Owen Hart, Chris Benoit's horrific acts, and the plane ride from hell being just some of the topics discussed. Throughout the show's history, Jim Ross has provided insight into these controversial topics and others, but it appears things have gotten too hot for the Oklahoma Sooner. Speaking on the Grilling JR podcast, Ross said that he may no longer be appearing on Dark Side of the Ring and questioned some of the editorial choices from the show's production. It's mixed. I have some problems with some dark side editing. I thought I was misrepresented a time or two in the edit. But I mean, I admire those guys' entrepreneurial spirit, and I think it's a good purpose, but I think sometimes they bite into the apple of the dirt. They narrowcast a little bit too much for me, but I'm still going to watch their shows. I'm not sure I'll be on any more of them simply because I had such unfortunate negative afterthoughts of it, but you never know. Those guys are good guys and they mean well, but I think the edit was a little bit callous and not well thought out, quite frankly. So I hope they continue to do those shows, and if they do, I'll continue to watch and we'll see. They should get better at what they do. There's no news on if any new episodes of Dark Side of the Ring have been greenlit, but it has been rumored that the show will not get another season. But even if it does, don't expect JR to make an appearance. Without Dark Side of the Ring, JR will have more time to work with Tony Khan in AEW, as the company president had a hands-off approach to his shows when it comes to promos. One of the biggest differences between AEW and WWE is that AEW doesn't have a team of writers, and talent are expected to be creative and make their own promos. Speaking on Wrestling with Freddie, Khan talked about the company not having writers and explained why he feels a team of people creating word-for-word scripts isn't needed in his company. I don't have a lot of writers is because I work with the top talent. We'll develop top storylines and programs. I'll do everything, say like, you'll do this, this, and this. Khan had special praise for MJF and CM Punk, two of AEW's best talkers, and said they have such great ideas when coming up with material. AEW's attitude to promos is much different to WWE, but it's clearly worked so far, and Tony Khan has shown no sign of changing his plans. Back to WWE, as plenty of superstars, including Butch, Raquel Rodriguez, and Gunther, have received name changes in recent weeks, and now yet another star is working under a new moniker. As confirmed via the WWE roster page, Raul Mendoza is no more, as the Legado del Fantasma member has been renamed to Cruz del Toro. Legado del Fantasma were featured in a fatal 5-way match to crown new WWE NXT 2.0 champions on this week's episode, which was won by Pretty Deadly, and perhaps this new name will mark the start of something new for Cruz del Toro. Or from Dynamite, as a new faction was formed on this week's episode. For weeks, TBS champion Jade Cargill has invited fans and wrestlers to send her pictures via social media to be part of her invite-only group, and now Red Velvet and Kiera Hogan are in. Sat in a section of the crowd the announcers called the Baddie section, it'll be interesting to see how the new stable does and whether the reigning AEW TBS champion recruits more wrestlers to her growing team. And we're ending today with the Young Bucks, who are down one executive vice president following Cody Rhodes' choice to leave AEW in February. Rhodes' decision to leave was one fans did not see coming, and after his WrestleMania 38 return, the Bucks changed their Twitter bio to react to his return to WWE. In an interview with Sports Illustrated, the Bucks made it clear there's no bad blood, as Matt Jackson said, "That Twitter bio was actually dedicated to cynical wrestling fans who've always discredited us and shaped a narrative early on that we weren't important to the launch of AEW. So they ran with a story that made more sense to them. We talk to Cody regularly and hope nothing but the best for him." Cody is certainly doing well in WWE, as he's undefeated since returning and is expected to challenge for the undisputed WWE Universal title one day, but he still maintains a close relationship with those he left behind in AEW. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.